Hey there, today we've been feeding our African SIDENECK Turtle. Now these guys have become more popular at pet stores lately, like Petco, PetSmart. You can go in and they generally have one if they're selling turtles. And he's been typically eating REPOMIN floating food sticks, but rejecting those pretty recently, I'd say the last couple weeks, which is really odd. And I've been finding miscellaneous turtle foods for him to eat that have just a little left in the bottom. He's gotten to eat the leftovers. So anyway, now is the time to get him his own food that he will hopefully eat just for him. And this is ZOOMED Aquatic Turtle Food Maintenance Formula. And it has more protein in it, as you can see, and a lot of calcium. And here's a quarter for size reference. And I put these in earlier, so he probably isn't as hungry right now, just to make sure he'd eat them, because I was getting a little worried because he hasn't been eating, and that's a sign immediately that something's wrong with your animal, is that they quit eating or definitely dramatically reduce the amount of food that they're eating. And he seems to like these. Now I have some growth formula of the aquatic turtle food, and that seems to be taken pretty well, but it really does not last long. It's got tiny pellets, and they're almost too small for the bigger turtles. But in most of the turtle foods, the adult formula is the same thing. It's just a bigger tablet or pellet. And these actually look and feel just like pencil erasers. They're about that same size. But again, see that quarter there for size reference? It's got food everywhere here. That is the, hey Red, size of this turtle. And the best thing too, if you can, is to keep them outside and say a horse trough or a kiddie pool, kind of modify it a little bit. Put a screen over it for sure, because they'll be prime target for hawks and, I don't know, neighborhood dogs. And again, he's watching me instead of his food, and I'm really relieved. I'm going to give him a little extra that he is eating. And he is a bottom feeder, generally speaking. He'll scavenge a lot in the wild and eat fish if he can catch them, but eats very little plant matter. And these pellets here, the ZOOMED, like this actual type, has more protein in it again, and you got to be careful because you give them too much protein and it can make their shell deformed. Hey guy. And as you can see, he doesn't have the explosive snaps like the snapping turtles do, of course. And he's a different variety of turtle than all my other ones, whereas he has a side neck. And he can't close his shell up or pull his legs in the way that other turtles do. Like, they kind of put him in front of their face just a little, but he can pull his up, but his neck will actually go to the side, and that leaves him still pretty vulnerable, especially his eyes, because he literally has his neck, well, just like that, but in his shell, and his face isn't protected. Oops. Especially from pencils that you drop in on them. And also, you got to be careful. They are fairly friendly, and I have not seen him aggressive earlier ever to other tank mates, other than maybe kind of pushing him out of the way for underwater hiding spots. But being that I've never seen him bite other people, and he also was really small when we got him. Let you watch him for a little bit here. And as you also see, this food shreds very easily, which is something I really dislike in a turtle food. Like, you really need one that doesn't dissolve as quickly. Like, here's some pellets here. As you can see, these, it's actually not poo. It's the pellets. They've dissolved and kind of shredded up, and they get spongy, and these sink to the bottom. And if you have gravel in your tank, they'll actually probably consume a little bit of that gravel on accident if it's really small when they're trying to eat their food. And he does prefer, again, food off the bottom, but he'll eat, you know, in the middle of the water column in the wild, like, you know, above the ground, below the surface. And also, another thing, he can't flex his neck, like, up and down, like your common slider turtle can, like your painted turtle, yellow belly turtles. And so if you have him in the tank, there he's rooting around on the bottom. If you have him in the tank with, say, like one red-eared slider, remember that their face isn't protected when their neck is in. And because of that, the claws can literally just poke him in the eyes and, and hurt him. But he seems to tolerate it when I've had him in before with my other son's turtle, Godzilla, who's a painted turtle. He has his eyes, excuse me, he has his eyes closed. It's not the quality of the water, although I just put him in here, obviously, to feed him. It's tiny, tiny little cage. Tiny, tiny. And you can see how deep that water is. It's deep enough for him to completely submerge his shell, but as you can see, he's pretty beefy. Are you beefy, guy? Are you big? Are you ginormous? Are you ginormous? And he's extremely tame for not being handled very much because of his size. And even when he was smaller, we didn't handle him very much. He has never exhibited any aggression, but a lot of people are intimidated because of his size. And here's a good example. Ow, oh, ow. Their claws, see how he's accidentally, well, on purpose, poking me with his feet there. Yeah, that hurt. That hurt, buddy. And if I was a wild animal, I'd probably drop him. Or a human, I'd drop him. Those are his ears, right there. And he's not going to like this light, but right there. And your face, your cute little face. And they are often called the smiling turtle. And again, they're more of an ancient type of turtle. If you look up the diversification tree, so to speak. Alright, PEE DEE PIE. You ate all of that food. I'll give him a little more. Again, if I had him in his regular tank, that would be all in the bottom. And that would make that water pretty rancid, pretty quick. Very quickly. It'd be so gross. Okay, guy. You're so good. You're so good. Say bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, there you go. Bye-bye.